I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Told him that I gotta go, dog. I'm riding the road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my bag now. So I need that go, y'all. Got hits when he throwing the fastball. Just too quick for it, peeling off like the whip orange.
All right, welcome everybody. We are back, season 3 of Another Turnover. It's been a minute. I've been gone for it's been 3 months, I believe. My last episode, I think, was the end of July, right after the Golden State Warriors became NBA champions once again. But I missed y'all. I'm excited to be back. I am excited to talk NBA action. I'm excited to give some terrible takes that will age horribly. But I am super happy to celebrate the premiere of season 3 with some good friends of mine. I've got Mr. Chris Bradshaw here. Thank you, sir, for being on. And I've got Mr. Jason as well on, two people that I've known for a hot minute now. It's been at least a couple of years, I believe, right? So, sure. But some expert NBA analysts. So, but we're going to basically go through, just kind of do a little preview of the upcoming 2022-2023 NBA season. So we're going to talk some bold takes. We're going to look into a few of the NBA awards, who we think is going to win those. We're going to rank way too early the standings for what we think is going to be 1 through 8 for the seeding. We'll talk finals matchup, and then we'll look at the marquee matchups for opening night. So, you gentlemen, you ready to go?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, let's
rock.
All right, so bold takes. I will get us started. So I've got 3 bold takes. We each got 3 bold takes that we have lined out, and I actually don't know what Chris and Jason are going to talk about. So I am pretty excited to see what's going to happen here. But like I mentioned before we went on the air, Chris, you're really not going to like this one. So this bold take is about the Los Angeles Lakers. I know you are.
I know it's coming, man.
I know you are a Lakers fan, but unfortunately, my bold take is that the Los Angeles Lakers will not be making the playoffs yet again. I believe the highlight of the Los Angeles Lakers season will be LeBron James breaking Kareem's all-time scoring record. So you have that to look forward to, but I do not see them making the playoffs with the roster that they have constructed. I think Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook, it's like grease and water. They don't mix. So, but we'll see. I could be wrong, but that is that's my first bold take I've got. So let me jump into the next one here, because I'm sure you either one of y'all have something to say about that. But my second bold take, I think we are going to see a return to form of Rockets James Harden in Philadelphia, and I believe he will lead the Philadelphia 76ers to the best regular season record. So, I mean, James Harden, his pretty much his time clock is running out. I mean, we all know in any sport, Father Time is undefeated. I thought Tim Duncan had him for a little bit, but, eventually he succumbed to Father Time as well. But I do believe with a motivated James Harden, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, I think Philadelphia can have the best regular season record in the NBA this year. Like I said, best regular season record. So that is my second bold take. Sixers going to have the best record. But the third one is that Damian Lillard, will not finish the season with the Portland Trailblazers. I really believe the only reason that Damian Lillard stayed with the Portland Trailblazers last year was obviously they got a new coach, Chauncey Billups, first-time head coach. He's definitely a player's coach. He was beloved in, Los Angeles when he was with the Clippers. So I really believe Dame Dollar wanted to give him a shot. But at the same time, that Portland Trailblazers roster did not improve really at all. At least in my opinion, it didn't. So I don't know where he could get traded to, because I didn't really think about, what team could possibly have the assets to get a player like Damian Lillard. But I really don't believe he finishes the season with the Portland Trailblazers. I think he asked for a trade not long before the deadline. So, gentlemen, bold takes, thoughts, I would love to hear.
Man, okay. I might be even more bold than you, and I'll say your takes aren't that bold.
They're not that bold. Okay.
Nah, man. Number one, the Lakers, not playoffs. I don't have them in the playoffs either.
Really, as a Lakers fan, you do not have them in the playoffs.
I'm a realistic fan. Okay, they're not paying any bills for me, bro. It's a love relationship, but I'm not singing their praises. I wasn't a fan of the Russ trade. I love Russ. It just didn't make sense. It didn't fit the team. And we could make the playoffs if Braun was about 5 years younger and Anthony Davis had any type of physical
durability.
Yeah, if he had some type of trainer. I don't think he trains in off. I don't know what he does because every year he's hurt with some type of nagging injury.
It is pretty surprising. He shouldn't be hurt as much as he is, but
so I do actually have, for your second take, I have Philly with the number 1 seed as well in the East. Kind of along the same lines, just regular season only. Harden has proven to not be that guy. So playoffs, I don't care what he did in the regular season.
Which is exactly why I said best regular season record.
We're on the same page with that. And then the Dame, not happening. That was a bold take, but it's not.
You don't see Damian Lillard. You don't see him running from the grind.
He had his opportunity already to bolt, and they locked him in for more money. Pretty much told him, hey, this is the plan for the team, and he's already bought in. So I think mentally he's already in a place where he knows, hey, I had my chance. If I wanted to do something else this past summer, I took the money. I'm gonna take it on the chin. I'm gonna stay here. He's gonna retire with them, and the chips gonna fall where they may. I don't even see him at the end of the career trying to play for somebody else. I don't see that. It was the last second hurrah. I think once he's 15 plus years in, it's kind of like, hey, I'm gonna ride it out and get a statue in Portland. You know what I mean? I feel like that'll cement his legacy. Of course, I would love to see him in deep playoff basketball, but he made that choice, So
I mean, I've just never seen the Portland Trailblazers as a legitimate contender any year at any point in his career. And I think with him, he just turned what? I think he just turned 31, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, he's still in the prime of his career, but I don't know. I think he's just going to take stock. It's like, look, we don't sign big time free agents. Like, no one's really going to request a trade here either. Like, I want to win. Like, and I just really don't believe it's going to happen in Portland. But Damian Lillard is a loyal player. Like, so, I mean, I could see him staying, but I know if I were him, I would want out. I'd be like, hey, get me out of there. So
he just makes too much money, bro. He's gonna make 60 mil for coming up here pretty soon.
He signed an extension this offseason?
Yeah, bro. He's locked in. So yeah, that's why I say he's not going anywhere. He had the opportunity. He could have played it how you just said, and when nobody could have followed him. But once you lock it in,
unless you're Kevin Durant, sign an extension, you ask for a trade, but that's a story for another day. So, Jason, do you have anything as far as my bold takes?
I actually disagree with you and Chris. I think the Lakers will make the playoffs. I think they're going to be number 7 seed. With LeBron aging a little bit, I think Anthony Davis is actually going to have his first healthy year, a complete year, maybe not all 82 games, but probably around a good 65.
That would be a full season for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with that and combined with some of their off-season moves, I think they'll squeak it in. Sorry. As far as Damian Lillard's concerned, I think he'll stay as well. I think, like Chris mentioned, with the money, I think he's comfortable there. I think they treat him like a king there. And, he had his chance to leave and pick anywhere he wanted to go, and he didn't. So I think he'll just stay put and continue to focus on his rap game. With the 76ers having the best record, I see them getting off to a hot start, kind of like they did last season. I don't think that they're going to finish with the best record this year. I got them in the top 3 for sure, but I do have Boston with the best record this year. And then number 2 right behind them is going to be the Bucks. So Boston, Bucks, and then 76ers. Not by much, though. Not by much, but that's my 3 for yours.
I think this whole Ime Udoka situation is going to have more of an effect on the Boston Celtics than people are really giving it credit for. So, but we'll see. I mean, everybody knows the Celtics are my favorite Eastern Conference team, my second favorite team behind my San Antonio Spurs. But I could see the Celtics getting the number 1 seed potentially, but I do think that they're going to struggle.
I think the biggest factor with the Celtics is Robert Williams' injury. He's going to be out for about 4 months. So
Oh, I totally
like,
forgot
3 or 4
about that
months.
because didn't he have surgery in the
Yeah,
offseason?
knee surgery recently. So
Uh,
when I made the list, actually, I was ranking the teams. I had Celtics number 1 at first, and then I had to remember that. I'm like, nah, that's too impactful. And they didn't make that transformation until he became more of a defensive focal point, and they kind of shifted him in the lineup. They're still a good team, defensive team without him, but the combination of Udoka and him being out, I definitely had to move them down to number 3. I know we'll get there eventually, but
yeah, absolutely.
that was definitely
But
a
yeah,
factor.
I mean that's a fair point. They started out like at one point, what they were like 19-19 the beginning of last season or whatnot, and that was with all of their players. So, well, I think Jaylen Brown had an early season injury last year or whatever it was, but still. So I could see something similar. I've got them in the playoffs, and like I said, we'll talk about rankings here shortly. But yeah, I could see the Celtics. I could see them either having like 1 or 2 seed, or see them going down to like 7 or 8, like with potentially no in between. But we'll see. But all right, well, those are my bold takes. Chris, you're up. What do you got for us?
I got some spicy. Let me see how y'all feel about it.
All right, let's do it.
Number 1, the Charlotte Hornets will be selecting Victor Wembanyama with the first pick.
Oh man, you had to go there. Oh.
Yeah. No, so number 1, I'm not gonna get too deep into the Miles Bridges thing. He definitely doesn't deserve to be on an NBA team or in the league.
Agreed.
And him being such an important piece on that team, obviously he didn't get traded, you know what I mean? There's no replacement for him. On top of Gordon Hayward, is a walking injury report. He's going to be out a sizable amount of time. And the most important part is LaMelo Ball is going to be out for the first few weeks of the season.
Yeah, he turned his ankle in the preseason game. I saw that.
So they're going to be terrible to start. I mean, Terry Rozier is a good point guard, but they're missing so much overall. It's not enough. And then once they start losing, MJ knows a loser when he sees one. he's going to give them the vote to go ahead and tank it out. I think they're just going to be bad enough to where they're not even going to have to really force it in the East, especially comparative to like some of the bottom teams in the East. They're trying to be a little more competitive. They're still going to be trash, example, Orlando Magic, but they're at least trying to field a competitive team. The Hornets are going to hit that point where they're like, you know what? It's time for us to move in a different direction. So I see Victor in the Hornets jersey. Him and MJ.
I mean, you know where I want Victor Wembanyama to go. I mean, first of all, every team probably wants him, but I mean, exactly. Coach Pop said himself, he was like, yeah, don't bet on a championship from us this year. So, but I mean,
y'all don't deserve him.
We don't deserve him.
Y'all have already had 2 number 1 7-foot league altering.
We need
Hall
another
of Fame
one.
centers. Like, yeah.
How incredible! Like, what an incredible story that would be. Like David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Victor Wembanyama, or whatever his name is. Like,
man,
that would just be the storybook ending. We get him. Pop can finally retire. Bring Becky back. I know she's killing in the WNBA, but let's just get it done. So, but all right, Charlotte Hornets. All right,
number 1 pick. Second bold take. Spicy. I love Paolo Banchero. I mentioned Orlando Magic already. Them being a competitive team, but still going to be pretty much trash because of their youth. Most people have him as a rookie of the year, and before the season started, it hasn't started, but before the off season, and I was watching some videos, I had him as well. I got to go with Keegan Murray.
Ooh,
Keegan Murray, rookie of the year.
Okay,
he's smooth, he's fluid, his basketball IQ is high. He's got NBA length and height, solid moves. He plays well above his maturity, and he's an older player for this past draft. So he's going to come in right in. I think he's going to average about 16, 8, and 3, about a steal and a block a game, some solid defense. And the reason I give him the bump over Paolo is I think the Kings are going to be in the play-in tournament, the 10th spot. Yeah. Now I don't know if they're going to beat. Exactly. Now that's
now that is bold.
It's spicy. Now I'm not saying they're going to beat anybody when they get there. Okay.
They just make it.
they're going to be in that 10 spot, which is good enough for them, and that's good enough for Keegan to be a rookie of the year because they're going to be a competitive team the whole year. So that's my spicy.
So okay,
I still love Paolo.
See, I would have had. I could see Paolo getting it. I mean, Keegan, Keegan Murray in Sacramento, but culture is a big thing, and Kings culture and Magic culture. It's so hard for those guys in that culture to, really obtain that Rookie of the Year award. Because didn't Scotty Barnes won last year, right?
Yeah.
In Toronto, They had no expectations, but you have a culture of winning, and you have a culture of excelling with an amazing coach in Nick Nurse, which is, more part of the reason why Scotty Barnes ended up winning it. But my Rookie of the Year pick would have been Chet Holmgren in Oklahoma City. Obviously, he's out for the season with his foot injury. But what I saw from him, obviously, it was Summer League. I don't take too much stock in the Summer League, but I was like, ooh, with that dude, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, like I was like that. I mean, and that team's still going to be nice, obviously, when he comes back. But that would have been my Rookie of the Year pick.
Gotcha. Also, Mike Brown is their coach now, coming over for the Kings.
Sacramento.
Yeah, so that's a big factor. Yeah. He's going to give them defensive competency. I'm not saying they're going to be good. It's just going to be like a base level of like, hey, these are our fundamentals, right? Which is going to, in turn, make the team better. Because offensively, I think they're good enough to be in a play-in tournament. But defense, that's what the real question is. Okay. And the next spicy take, it's getting hot in here. Okay. I got Herb Jones making an all-defensive team next year.
Herb Jones?
Yes, Herb Jones.
Like all defensive first or second?
I would go second.
Okay.
First is kind of a stretch. But yeah, I got him second team. Reason being, okay, even last year as a rookie, he was third in the league in steals, fourth in deflections. All right. He had as many blocks as Steven Adams. Okay. So my man is all over the court. He's going to get even more playing time. Obviously, he's not a rookie anymore. And he's going to be tasked with the hardest matchup every night. And he's the fifth option scoring wise. So the burden on him to carry the team is not there. They're going to say, Herb, lock in. I need you to guard Bron. I need you to guard whoever it is. Do your job. He's going to get plenty of recognition because he's playing with Zion this year and he's just going to shine. So I feel like he's definitely going to be on at least the second team because he's undeniable on defense. Like his arms are like ridiculous. Okay. My man
does have long limbs.
It's crazy. So I got him second team at least, maybe first team, but he's going to get the recognition, which is the most important part of making a defensive team. Playing along Zion, he's going to get those TV looks.
Okay. I think part of all of, well, you could say this for all the awards, and we'll talk about, some of the awards here momentarily, but part of it is going to be, it's who are the media darlings, like who are the ones like, that the league wants to highlight. And I see where you're going with Herb Jones potentially getting it, because I'm sure the Pelicans will have plenty of TV games because of Zion Williamson. So I definitely do think league-wide, nationwide, he'll have the broadcast to make sure he gets, national recognition. So I could see that. So I wouldn't say that's super bold, but when you said the name at first, I was like, Herb Jones.
That's what I said.
Who?
It's not
Jones?
a household name.
No, it's not. I mean? But he could have a platform this year. Jason, you have any thoughts?
No, I actually agree with most of that. It's pretty bold, but I could see with the scenarios that Chris was laying out, each of those happening. So no, I agree.
Concur. All right, Jason, you're up. What do you got for us? Anything spicy?
All right. So bear with me. Like I said, I'm at the park playing ball with Ezra. So my paper's actually at home. So these are going to be off the dome from what I can remember.
All right.
My first bold take is the Denver Nuggets will win the championship.
Wow.
The Denver Nuggets win the NBA championship. Oof. With the healthy Jokic, and you got Murray coming back. And if you could get Porter Jr. back on the floor for a full season, I think they can make a run at it.
Those are two big ifs. Right.
Hey, man, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, that's number one. Number two is I actually have Jabari Smith as Rookie of the Year.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. Yes, of course I do. But the reason why is because he didn't show out like Chet in summer league, but preseason so far, this dude's been on fire. I got to see him live and in person. I got to go to the practice and everything like that. Dude's got a stroke on him, so if he gets hot a couple nights in a row, he'll start getting that recognition, and I think he'll outscore Banchero. Defensively, I think he's pretty solid as well. So I think he's got what it takes to pull that out. Plus, he's got that chip on his shoulder, right? Going number 2 overall. So I think he's prepared for that. And the third take is I actually had Portland making the playoffs, not even in the play-in, but as a full seed. I think
wow.
I think that they're going to surprise some people. I think Damian Lillard, he's been putting in work with the team outside of the building. I know that they've been doing runs together at other places, and I think that chemistry is going to surprise a lot of people to start the season, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I think you better watch out with them.
Okay, so your take on Jabari Smith, like, I see where you're going, but this is my opinion on the Houston Rockets. I think I don't like that collection of talent together. Like, I like Jabari Smith's game. I like Jalen Green's game. I like Kevin Porter Jr.'s game. I just don't like them together. Like, I don't see them building off of the young core that they have now. I don't know what it is. I think it's just, I don't know if it's egos or attitude. This is just purely speculation off my end, but I really don't like that collection of talent together. So Jabari Smith, depending on how playing time goes and whatnot with Steven Silas, like, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see that.
I don't like Kevin Porter Jr. as the point guard. I think that's probably going to have to be the change going forward with the Rockets, subbing him out for somebody else is a little more naturally point guard. He didn't come up playing point guard. But as far as the core and your take, I don't think Jabari Smith's going to get enough shots because Jalen Green is going to be on setting the world on fire. I think he's going to take a next leap, and even like he's just going to get so many of the premier looks and so much opportunity to take that next level. Jabari Smith will have a nice year, but it's going to be more complimentary versus Paolo, who we talked about is going to be pretty much the point forward. He's going to have to put it on his back every night. And then Keegan Murray, the reason I picked him is he's going to have to produce as well, but he's going to be on a better team. And he's going to be doing stuff that's natural to him, like scoring in his natural spots. Like, he's got a smooth game. Jabari Smith, I think he's going to have a good year, but I just don't. The team is too young, and there's a lot of I wouldn't even call it ego, but it's got to feel out who's going to be the man, who's going to be.
It's just something about them all together. Like, I don't see them meshing to become, something like another team. Like, who could be a young team? I can't think of off the top of my head, but like, there's some other young teams in the league. I'm like, okay, I could see like Oklahoma City, for example. Like, I could see Josh Giddey, Chet Holmgren, Shai Gilgeous. I'm like, I could see that. I just don't get that from Houston.
No, the Rockets got it. The center they drafted last year is pretty nice.
Sengun?
Yeah. He's super nice.
Really,
so that's why I have faith in him going forward. Like I said, the only person who's not in a spot that is conducive for the team moving forward is Kevin Porter Jr. He's kind of in a spot that doesn't fit. Other than that, they'll work it out. They got plenty of youth and picks coming out. So I still think they're in a good position. But the Portland making the playoffs,
I don't see it, Jason. Man. I'm sorry.
Nah, take that confidence.
Hey, man, y'all are saying bold, right?
Yeah. No, I wanted it. I just said I don't see it.
Exactly. But it's a good one. I was going to say take that to Vegas, put some money on that. If that's how you feel, I wouldn't. You make some money because nobody else.
Yeah, those Vegas odds. Yeah, you definitely hit for real. As far as the Denver Nuggets, though, I'm high on the Denver Nuggets too when they're healthy. Like if they can get healthy, I could easily see them being top 2, top 3 in the West. But I think with, coming off an ACL injury for Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., I can't remember, I know he had back issues in college. I don't know what his recent injury is, but
It's still the back.
it's still his back. So, and yeah, he just got a max extension too, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Denver can stay healthy. Like, and the crazy thing, they got the 6th seed last year, pretty much off the back of Nikola Jokic. And I was like, man, if he could just have one of those two guys, like they could probably win a first round playoff series. I didn't think they were going to beat the Warriors in the first round, but still, yeah. You said you have Denver going to the finals, right?
You said winning.
Oh, winning the finals.
Yeah, that's my bold take. I have them winning everything. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I agree with you. You're just a year too early. I see them winning the next year. It's going to take Jamal Murray most of the year to get back to like full form off of that ACL. And then more importantly, Michael Porter Jr., the back, it's an injury that flares up and it's kind of random. So if they ramp him down and have him at a like minutes restriction and trying to preserve him for the end of the year, then yeah, I could see that, because I could definitely see Jamal Murray by the end of the year rounding in the form. And like you said, Jokic he's by himself, he's 45 wins plus. So yeah, with them back in the fold, I agree. I think they're a title contender. And I was really upset about last year because I thought they would have won it last year. I'm just being completely honest with you. That's why I said you're a year too early, because I think it's still going to take some time for them to get acclimated coming off that ACL. Because he's going to be nice at the end of the year, but it's going to be some rough patches where he's kind of got to feel the tempo and the feel of the game. And then with the Michael Porter Jr., his back is just, it's so sporadic. I don't see him playing enough games if they have to lean on him.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely those points for sure. I think the acquisition of Aaron Gordon last year gave them the jolt that they needed, and I think
that was big.
I think a second year with Jokic and then adding Murray, and then like you said, kind of pacing the return of Michael Porter Jr. I think by playoff time they're going to be ready to go. So
I think Bruce Brown being added to their team was a huge addition.
Oh, he left Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's with the Nuggets.
I forgot
now.
about that.
So I'm high on the Nuggets just because of that. Jokic needs players who are smart, can shoot and cut. He's like the Jokic Bruce Brown pick and roll is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, crazy. You see it. All right, bold takes. Those were good. I appreciate y'all. Hey everyone, just wanted to take a quick moment from this season 3 premiere of Another Turnover and talk about the NFL. And you're probably like, the NFL? Why are we talking about the NFL? This is an NBA show. But I got to talk about one of the best, the most amazing, the incredible Leatherbrains. Leatherbrains, the favorite fantasy football podcast, the best one in the game. Perfect mix between information and entertainment, and most importantly, it will give you a leg up in your fantasy football leagues. So this podcast is run by two good buddies of mine, Hunter Slapdog Amoruso, Matthew Scotty Holtmeyer. Let me tell you, last year I talked about it on the show and how great it was, and this year it is even better, bigger and better than ever. I don't follow the NFL too closely. I am a Giants fan, and they are 4-1, but they have given me all the tools and resources that I need to keep up when it comes to fantasy football goodness. So every episode is full of fun and laughs. The advice they give will tremendously help you out in both your dynasty and redraft leagues. So the show's a must listen. Search for Leatherbrains with a Z on YouTube or your favorite podcast app, and I promise you will not regret it. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program, y'all. But let's transition. Let's get into award predictions. So Jason, I'm going to start with you. So MVP, MIP, most improved, and then who you think the team's going to have the best record. So I want to know.
All right, MVP, I'm going for it. Jokic 3 years in a row.
Ooh.
He's going to get it, especially if they get one of the top 2 seeds in the West. They have to give it to him. He's phenomenal. I mean, people don't really see him as flashy because, his body type, his athleticism, but his game is ridiculous. So I think 3 years in a row, it's going to happen.
Hasn't been done since Larry Bird, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it hasn't been done by Larry Bird. So I think he's going to make it happen, and it's going to be fun to watch. Most improved player. Man, I was struggling with that one. I was like, man, there's a lot of people making comeback seasons. Who do I want to see? Who do I want to see get it? I actually think, and this is hard for me to say, but I really think Christian Wood's going to surprise people in Dallas. Really put up some solid numbers like he was doing for the Rockets the first year, and just really take Dallas to another level with Luka. So I think he's going to be the most improved player for me. And then the team with the best record, I have Boston.
Okay. All right. I like all of those. Jokic is one of my favorite players to watch. Like, it's just, I don't understand. Like, I'm like, he's too big to be facilitating the way he does, like bringing the ball up. It is so fun to watch. So I would love to see back-to-back MVP from Jokic. So I'm on board. As far as Christian Wood, he was close. I was thinking about him. I think he could do very well in that offense with Luka Doncic, Spencer Dinwiddie in Dallas. So I'm high on him as well, as much as that pains me to say as well, being a Spurs fan, but it's neither here nor there. Boston Celtics getting the best record we kind of talked about. I could see them either having a really, really good season, 1 or 2, or potentially being in that bottom tier 7-8, just with everything that's gone on with them. So, but I like that. I see where you're going.
Yeah, I liked it. I gotta disagree. But you actually right. Christian Wood is going to win an award, but he's going to win 6-man, not most improved.
I can see that.
Win a 6-man.
I can see that. Yeah.
That's fair.
All right, Chris, what you got for us?
All right, MVP. I'm going with Joel Embiid. Reason being, Sixers going to have the #1 record, like we talked about. You can't deny that man at that point. And he's going to have a monster season just because of what they surrounded him with. He has more shooters, more defenders. PJ Tucker was a huge addition. It's going to take a lot of the burden of having him being the only defensive rebounder on the team, because they can't rebound for anything. But they added a lot of toughness and defense and shooting. So I got the Sixers with the #1 seed, in part. Embiid finally going to cash in.
Finally getting over the hump.
Exactly. The frustration is going to be done. He's going to win his MVP. Also, voters, I think, are going to be a little more sympathetic. So the reason I don't agree with the Joker winning the third, not that I think he can't, it's like, to win the third, you have
voter fatigue.
Yeah, you have to do something. That's why Giannis didn't win his third. And I was really close to picking Giannis for MVP this year, just because I think we underrate him tremendously.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, voter fatigue, and exactly. I couldn't agree more.
But I do think he's going to go ahead and submit that. They're going to have Sixers going to be one of the top 2 seeds most of the year. So Embiid's going to be at the forefront of the voters. And if Jokic has to average damn near 40, and the Nuggets have to be a top 3 seed in the West for him to win it again. It's not because he's not worthy. It's just because we've seen it. Most improved. This one was tough for me. I kept going back and forth. Even in my notes, a bunch of scribbles and scrabbles. And even I had everything typed up, and I'm still might go against what I had typed up.
It's okay if you're not, if you don't have the courage of your convictions. It's fine.
Nah, man. We can write it in pen. We can write it in pen. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Anthony Edwards, most improved.
Ooh. Okay.
Reason being, it's gonna be his 3rd year. I saw in the playoffs, which I already knew, Karl Anthony Towns is not that guy. But he doesn't have to be, because they have that guy. That's Anthony Edwards. Mm-hmm. He averaged 21 this past year. I think he's going to up it to probably about 25 if he just cuts down on kind of some of those not pull-up threes, but just the aimless threes where he's just dribbling and there's nothing there. He just fires one up. If he kind of transitions that to more post-ups or just more takes, and I think he's going to see the floor a lot better, which is going to raise his assist total and just make him a better overall player. Of course, his stats are going to be the counting stats, like points, are going to go up, but he's going to make the All-Star team.
I can see that.
And
as long as he stays off social media.
I love Ant-Man. I mean, he speaks his mind, so it's like Charles Barkley. You know, it's good and bad. Like, you're going to take the good. Same thing with the Draymond. I love Draymond too. He crosses the line a lot. But I rather somebody give it to me straight.
Makes for good TV for sure.
Exactly. Let me know how you feel, man. I don't want any ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just keep it real with me. Yeah, I definitely have to go ahead and go with the Anthony Edwards. I think he's gonna take it to the next level. And then best record, I'm still gonna go with the Sixers. Like I said, the addition of PJ, they added DeAnthony Melton, Montrezl Harrell, Daniel House Jr. I mean, it's a nice team. But the most important part, reason I think they're going to have the best record is Tyrese Maxey. To me, he would be the number 2 option after Joel Embiid, and I have James Harden as the consummate point guard, just facilitating. But I don't want him second in points or having to have that burden of being the number 2 guy, because if that's the case, the Sixers aren't going to go far in the playoffs. But if Tyrese Maxey makes that next step, which I think they're going to be really solid in the regular season, which I think they'll have the best record, but he's the key to them taking off past just being a good regular season team. I need him to average about 23 and 40% shooting, being aggressive as he was last year. And the Sixers are going to run away with the East. I don't think they're going to, like I said, last in the playoffs. But
great regular season for the 76ers. Yeah,
for sure.
I could not agree more. I mean, like I said, that's who I have for my best record as well, pretty much for the same exact reasons. I think Tyrese Maxey will have to be the number 2 scoring option on that team. And James Harden, we've seen thrives in that facilitation role. I mean, but pre-hamstring injury in Brooklyn, like, they more than likely were going to beat Milwaukee, I believe, in 2021. Like, the way that he was playing, obviously that was before Kyrie Irving got hurt as well. I was like, this version of James Harden is arguably the best version of James Harden that we've seen, where he is able to maximize facilitation as well as get you at least 22 to 26 points, in a game. Like 22 points, 16 assists, like what more could you ask for from your facilitator? Like, so I agree when it comes to that. You said MVP, Joel Embiid. I definitely think like he could get it, not for lack of play, but partly, like you said, voters and sympathy, finishing second behind Nikola Jokic 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. If the Sixers especially get the number 1 seed and he balls out just the same way he has for the past 2 seasons, I think he'll eventually end up getting it. I do have my MVP pick, though, is the same as last year, which was wrong. I'm going with Luka Doncic. He is such a media darling. Like, I think Luka is going to take it this year, especially if the Mavericks finish top 4 in the Western Conference. I think he gets it. Like, I mean, I really just can't understand, his game, but his strength, his agility for, being as slow as he is, like, it just, I think he'll get it. Like, I could see him averaging over 30 points. I could see him averaging a double-double with assists, nearly a triple-double, because he is a triple-double machine in most instances. But then that's mostly just from sheer volume. Like, no one else has the ball, but
Thank you. I love Luka. He's cold, but there's a narrative, and I'm not going to get into the semantics of it, but there's been a narrative of him being the MVP for like the past 3 years. Like, he's been the media darling pick, like the odds-on favorite. I'm just like, how? I don't get it. I really don't. Like, objectively, like I said, he's very cold. He is a focal point of offense. We've seen what he does in the playoffs. Like, I'm not debating his greatness by any means, but he's not the most valuable player in the league. And even still, I wouldn't even say he has like the biggest burden in the league. I think the team is set up for him to just do whatever he wants to. Like, and that's good because he's elite. Like he's earned it right. Like I'm not debating his greatness at all. I just think I think the media has been trying to force him into the MVP, best player in the league. And it's like, nah, he has to go and earn that. Like
100%. And the media plays a huge role in who wins MVP, obviously.
Exactly.
Like, so, and that's why I'm like, not taking away from how well he plays, but I'm just like, all right, like the media wants you to win it. So all you pretty much have to do is do exactly what you've been doing, and you'll more than likely win it. As long as he doesn't miss, a significant amount of time due to injury or anything like that, it's pretty much his award to win. But I don't know. I can see it. I can see him taking it. But as far as my most improved, I am going with this somewhat of an unconventional one. Christian Wood, Jason was definitely on my mind when I was going through this, but I think they're going to end up giving it to Zion Williamson. The same reason for why they gave it to Ja Morant last year. Like, we already knew, like, when we saw Zion Williamson, when he last played, he was healthy. Like, he was that dude in New Orleans. Obviously, they were bad, but I think if he's able to stay healthy for the entire year, his efficiency from the field, like, obviously another media darling as well. I think Zion Williamson will end up getting most improved. I don't see him having an MVP caliber season. I could see like potential minute restrictions and things like that, because Pelicans have been so cautious with him ever since he's been in the league, which is a story for another day. But I think I'm gonna go with most improved for Zion Williamson.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back on you just a little bit, because he was already all NBA, right? And you say you don't think he's gonna be MVP. So for him to be most improved, I think he has to hit like
first team all NBA.
He has to be MVP level to get the most improved, because Ja Morant, he upped his average about 8 points, made the All-Star team, and his team was the number 2 seed to get that most improved. I think Zion's gonna have to average 30 plus the Pelicans have to be top 3. So, you know what I mean?
I see where you're going.
Because he's already so high. It's not like last year was like a bad year for him. He just didn't play because of injury. The last time we saw him, he was averaging 25. Was all, like I said, all MVP. I mean, all NBA, made the All-Star team. It's like he's already an All-Star. That's what I'm saying. Like, for him to get most improved, he has to go from All-Star to MVP.
So you would think, yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. He would have to go from already being an All-Star to MVP caliber play, and by that point, MIP is out of the question. You're looking at MVP. So
you know what I mean?
No, that is definitely a very fair point. But I kind of felt similarly though to Ja Morant. Like, he won Rookie of the Year. And I was like, all right, he's that dude. Granted, they had a huge lead. No one predicted that they were going to finish with the second best record in the NBA. But I was like, he was already kind of that dude. Like, and that's why he ended up, I personally feel, giving the award to his teammate Desmond Bane. But I was like, I don't really see why. So I kind of went with that mentality. If that's how they're kind of doing MIP now, that's why I ended up going with Zion Williamson. But you definitely bring up a fair point. So, Jason, any thoughts?
I kind of like Zion as well for most improved. I didn't really consider the fact that he was averaging 25 points. I just considered the fact that, he's going to come back and dominate. And I think that would be enough for him to win it, just because the Pelicans are going to be a very, very scary team with the addition of CJ McCollum, handling the rock, and then dishing that out to Zion or Brandon Ingram, just getting rebounds and then tossing them lobs or whatever the case may be. I think they're really going to use Zion as a focal point this year. And that's really going to propel them into the top 5. I think they're going to be a top 5 seed and really surprise some people because they're not expecting them. So I definitely can see the most improved happening. Now, you said, who was your top seed? It was
the Sixers.
Sixers, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I think that Harden is going to show that, he's a good third option and very good facilitator with Maxey just tearing it up. So I think they're going to be really, really good. I mean, I saw that video of Doc Rivers showing him that they need to play through Joel Embiid right first and then establish that. And I think with that conversation and Harden allowing that conversation to be made public shows that he's comfortable stepping back and being that facilitator role and not wanting to be the primary option or even secondary for that matter, right? I think at this point in his career, he's ready to just win a championship. So whatever it takes. I mean, you saw how he's coming in shape this year, even better than what he's been in Houston almost. So I think that that's a really good take there. And your MVP, Luka, man, I like he would have to average a triple-double to get it though. And I think he can. I mean, he's definitely more than capable of doing it. So, I mean, that's not far off for you to have that. They would also need to be top 5 seed. So average triple-double, top 5 seed, you have to give it to him.
Well, yeah, last year he was what? He was like 27-9 and like 8.8 or something like that. So he was
super close.
He was pretty close to averaging a triple-double. So I definitely think he can. But it's kind of hard to pick these, awards now with, load management and things like that. Cause, you don't really know who's going to play. And Luka's had his fair share of injuries, in his career. So I definitely could see that derailing his MVP hopes for the year, but we shall see. But I want to make sure we have enough time because we are a little bit over time, but let's get to the standings so we can just run through those super quick. So for the Eastern Conference standings, obviously this is way too early, but I've got Sixers, like we talked about. I've got the Bucks at number 2. I am really high on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I've got the Cleveland Cavaliers at the 3rd spot. I think with the addition of Donovan Mitchell, their defensive prowess with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, I think they could really make a lot of noise in the Eastern Conference. I've got the Brooklyn Nets at 4. The Celtics I got dropping to 5. I like I said, I think the Ime Udoka situation is going to do them in a little bit more than people are anticipating. I've got the Miami Heat at the number 6, falling all the way to number 6, Atlanta Hawks at number 7, and then I've got the Chicago Bulls at number 8, just with the Lonzo Ball probably being out for an extended period. I do think that that's going to derail their championship hopes as well. So if you Chris, if you just want to jump into and kind of compare, and we'll go with that.
I got 76ers. I got the Bucks as well. I have the Celtics 3 seed. I have the Raptors 4 seed. The Raptors are going to be really tough this year. They played all offseason together at Rico Hines runs in LA. They're going to be so tough, bro.
You got Raptors, you said at 4?
4, yeah. They're going to be really tough.
All right.
Like really, really tough. I got the Heat after that. I have the Cavs coming in at 6. Got the Nets at 7. Yeah, I mean, with the Nets, everybody is doing a lot of projecting. There's a lot of ifs. Like I haven't seen Ben Simmons play, and I'm on top of that, it's going to take a while for him to get back to shape, form, all that, and he can't shoot free throws. I don't care. Like, how much time has passed? Like I don't even care about him shooting threes.
Yeah, you can't have your point. You can't have your point guard not shooting free throws. So
yeah, so they don't have enough depth. I got them at 7, 8. I got the Bulls.
Okay,
I got the Bulls.
Right. It's pretty close. I don't even have the Raptors in at all. So you got the Raptors instead of, you don't have Atlanta making the playoffs, do you?
No, I got them in the play-in.
You have them in the play-in.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I got them at the. I know you asked for 1 through 8,
right?
But I had Atlanta at 9, and then Knicks at 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, what you got?
Again, I don't have my paper with me, but I'll see if I can remember what I had off of my head. So I think I had 1 was Boston. Number 2 was the Bucks. Number 3, I think I had Cleveland. And number 3 with the addition of Donovan Mitchell. And then I think at 4, I had the Nets. 5, yeah, I have at 5. I think I actually had the Raptors at 5 as well, because whenever I went to the preseason game, you could see the chemistry that Chris was talking about. They're really solid. They moved the ball extremely well. They anticipated each other's moves very, very well, and that was very impressive. So I think I have them at 5. I think I had the Bulls. No, it was Miami next at 6. And then at 7, who did I have? I think I had Atlanta actually at 7. So I had them making it. just barely. And then at 8, I had the Bulls as well. So, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. Who you got for the West?
Ooh, for the West, I got the Rockets number 1. No, I'm just
Oh,
playing.
I was like, all right, well, logging off.
Okay, so number 1 in the West, I do have Denver Nuggets. I have them winning it all, and I have them number 1. I think that they're really going to make some moves there. Number 2 in the West, gosh, Phoenix. I think Phoenix is really going to come back with the vengeance from being so close. But they're still not going to win anything. But, they're going to good regular season.
Good regular season.
Number 3, gosh, man, this is a tough one. I was going to go with like Denver, Phoenix, the Warriors. Yeah, Warriors right there. So, and those are easily interchangeable. But yes, the Warriors is going to be number 3. Number 4, I had Dallas actually making a good run up to number 4. I think with the addition of Christian Wood, it's going to take a little bit more off of Luka's plate and really help him out, something that Porzingis never did. So I have him at number 4. Number 5, gosh, no, that one's tough to remember. So let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry.
You're good. So you've got Pelicans, Timberwolves, Grizzlies.
Yeah, Pelicans.
Okay.
And then the Grizzlies after that. So that's what, 7?
I think that's 7. Yeah. So we're looking at 8.
8. Okay. And then after the Pelicans, I had, what am I missing? Oh, Portland. I think that they were going to make it in. So yeah.
Wait, I'll be remiss if I don't remind you about the Clippers.
Oh shoot! That's
I was gonna say the same thing.
All right, my fault. The Clippers, man, that's something I totally forgot about. So yes, sorry, Portland. Well, no, that's my bold take. I have to keep them in there. Let me get rid of. Gosh,
I know, man. It's tough.
I know it's hard.
It's a tie.
Hello.
It's a tie. All right, fair enough. All right, Chris, what you got for the West?
All right. I have Warriors, number 1 seed.
Number 1 seed. Okay.
I got this one I debated on. I flipped them, but I have the Clippers number 2, and I have the Suns number 3, Nuggets number 4, Pelicans 5, Grizzlies 6, Mavs 7, T-Wolves coming in with the 8 spot.
Oh.
The Clippers are too deep to ignore. I don't believe or trust the health of Paul George or Kawhi Leonard, but they are 10 to 12 deep. Like, they're deep.
Absolutely.
So if they just need one of them playing every couple of days, like they'll scratch out some dubs.
And that is why I personally don't have them. I don't have them top 3. I do have them at 4, and I'll go through the list here in a moment. But I think just for that reason, but I don't think they have to be top 3, if you know what I mean. Like, because of how deep they are. I think they anywhere between 1 through 5, I think they'd be fine, and they could have a deep playoff run. But
that's why I said I had them flipped with the Suns, because I don't think they care about the regular season as much as other teams. But at the same time, it's just gonna be such a well-oiled machine with Tyronn Lue as a coach. Like, he has more depth than they've had in a long time. So he's good for 50 wins. I got faith in him.
all right,
Best coach in the league.
Well, mine's a little different from all y'all's here. I've got the Grizzlies with the best record in the Western Conference. Like, I definitely feel as if this young team, with all the showcasing that they're gonna get, they're gonna have the best regular season record. I don't have them doing much in the playoffs, but I do think that they will have. It'll be similar to how the Utah Jazz have been at like top 3 for the past few years. I mean, they won't be this year, but I got the Grizzlies getting the number 1 seed regular season for the Western Conference. I've got the Denver Nuggets at the 2nd spot. I think if they can get some semblance of health, they'll have a really solid year. Golden State Warriors, number 3. I mean, I think they've proven they don't really need a number 1 or number 2 seed, obviously, to win it all. I've got the Clippers in the 4th spot there. I've got the Mavericks, so I've got a rematch between the Clippers and the Mavericks again, playing in the playoffs, which will be fun. I've actually got the Suns falling to 6 this year. I think with the whole ownership thing, some of the headlines that have come out about DeAndre Ayton not necessarily wanting to be there. I don't know about the Suns' chemistry this year. That epic meltdown, like that's like franchise altering, like epic meltdown that they had last year against the Mavericks. So I can see that trickling down to this year. Pelicans at 7. And then I've got the Timberwolves rounding out at the 8th spot.
I'm gonna let you know right now. That Grizzlies take is gonna age like cheese, man.
We'll see. Like now, last year I had them at I didn't have them making the playoffs, and so now I'm just gonna flip it all the way around.
It's too much. You went too far. Reason being, Jaren Jackson Jr. is out for like 4 months.
Oh, see, I ain't looked that up.
Yeah, bro, you might want to read. That's what I'm saying.
That's what this show is about. Like, this show is all about bad takes. Like,
it aged 10 seconds.
You can't get any worse with me not remembering the Clippers. Man. Come on.
Yeah, so I mean, that's like I said, that's what this show's about. So I'm standing by it.
Standing on it. All right.
I'm standing on it. I think they'll do well without Jaren Jackson, number 1 seed. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see. All right. Well, I want to make sure we, like I said, have plenty of time to wrap up here. So I just need your finals, your 2 finals teams and who the winner is. So I've got Bucks Warriors for the finals, and I've actually got the Bucks winning again this year. So Jason, we'll go to you. What you got?
I got Denver and the Bucks, and I got Denver winning.
Denver and Bucks. All right.
I had the Warriors and Bucks, and I got Bucks 1 and 2.
Do you? Wow. See, like I said, I didn't know what they were gonna have. So I guess we're all high on the Bucks. So if they don't win, there we go. There's our credibility.
Delete this episode.
Edit it out. But all right. Well, let's before we get out of here, we'll talk about our marquee matchup. So I want to let everybody know. So I'm doing marquee matchups every weekend, kind of like I did last year, but with a little twist. So you'll want to make sure you vote on marquee matchups. I will post them on Friday on all my social media platforms. So Twitter and Instagram mostly, where you can either DM me your picks, you can comment on the picks or whatever. Instagram, they'll be on the story with the little poll, so you can just vote directly from there. But by the week of December 12th, 2 weeks before Christmas, whoever has the most points picking the correct teams with marquee matchups, you'll get a $50 Fanatics gift card. So you want to $50 off a jersey, you want some sports memorabilia, whatever you want, you'll have $50 on me. So let's kick it off. So we got opening night coming up this Tuesday night, if I'm not mistaken. So we've got Philadelphia and Boston. We've got the Lakers and Golden State Warriors. So Chris, who are your picks?
Gotta go Sixers. Kick it off with a dub. And I gotta go Warriors. Defending their home court. Got the rings, gonna be nice and shiny. It's gonna be a good game. LeBron's gonna be pretty mad about it, but they're just too deep. Warriors are really too deep.
All right, Jason, who you got for me?
Same thing. I got the Sixers coming out strong, and then I got the Warriors by double digits.
Okay, all right. Now, obviously, I won't be playing in the $50 gift card pool because I mean it's my money, but I still will make picks. So I've got the Celtics actually winning for opening night, and then I've got the Warriors winning their ring ceremony. But ladies and gentlemen, season 3 premiere of Another Turnover. That's all I got. Gentlemen, I appreciate you very, very much for being on. Where can we find you on socials? Chris, where can we find you?
Bradshaw, the OG on Instagram.
Bradshaw, the OG. Jason, where can we find you on socials?
Jason Ruiz Sr. at Instagram.
All right, perfect. All right, like I said, gentlemen, I appreciate you being on. It's going to be a fun year. I've got new segments planned. I'm hoping to have more regular guests because this was fun, probably the best episode that I've ever had. But have a great weekend. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you next week.
All right, buddies.
Peace out.
Blessings.
In a rent due. Told y'all that I'm 6 foot, but with the money statement, I'm 10-2. Too much that I've been through, so I put it all in that rear view. Clean money in a black whip, got old problems with the friends new. Yeah, I'm in the big leagues. Told her don't miss me. Ballin' like